Hey guys, it's Sir Aaron here, and today I'm making a video to A, sort of give you guys an update, and B, sort of show you what I'm currently working on. Um, so right now I'm outside of the Palace of Amber in the map Amber, and a few days ago I was sort of flying around and looking at things, and a bunch of really cool concept art designs showed up on my Tumblr feed. And I was sort of cross comparing them to Amber and just beginning to think, man, this place looks like shit. And honestly, it does. Now, hear me out, because I know a lot of you are probably thinking, how on earth can he say this is shit? This looks amazing. It does look pretty good. And until recently, I was fairly pleased with it. I was happy to say that it was done. Um, but now I'm not so sure, and now I'm having second thoughts, and I've started coming up with new designs for a new palace, completely from scratch, and it's looking a lot better in my head, at least. Um, so I've basically had to think about this quite hard over the last few days, because it's basically a choice between, do I make this new design for the palace, or do I stick with this old version and not be satisfied? Um, and in the end, satisfaction won through. So I've decided that I'm going to start again. As difficult as that is for me to say. Because this right here, what you're looking at now, what I'm flying around, this is almost a year's worth of work. You know, sort of around February last year, I decided to start work on the palace, and around, oh, I guess not a year, but sort of 8 months. Took about 8 months to finish originally. But I know the reason why it took so long was because I didn't really know what to do. I was sort of just adding bits on. As you can clearly see, this place is quite literally a mess. Um, the gardens, especially. Uh, yeah, I didn't really know what to do. I was just sort of adding bits on and thinking, oh, this looks cool, that looks cool. I was taking lots of different samples from lots of different bits of concept art that I'd seen and just sort of blue tacking them onto this big building. And it didn't, well, at the time I thought it looked awesome, and now I look back at it and I think this looks kind of shitty. And it looks disorganized, and that's what I don't like. Because Amber is supposed to be the city of order, and so to have your capital palace looking really messy, just it's so counterintuitive. So yeah, I decided to restart. Um, as a result, though, that means that I'm now releasing the what's left of the city of Amber bit by bit. Hopefully every week. I don't see any reason why I couldn't or shouldn't be able to release it bit by bit every week. So I'm going to finish with the palace and the whole city. Yesterday, I released the stadium, which is over that way somewhere. I'm probably going to do the cathedral next week or the week after, Tower Town. There's all sorts of stuff here that I can release bit by bit, and then once I've released it all in parts, I'm just going to release this whole map with everything as one. Right, so yeah, so that's that. What I've now done, or started doing, is I've started work on the new Amber, as you can see here. So initially, I started making designs in GIMP, the imaging program, just sort of making little pixel art designs and working out a floor plan. And then I started working on, how's the wall going to look, because I want it to be consistent all the way around, so it needs to be something that looks pretty good. I think I'm deciding on this design, or something very similar to this, or quite close to this. As you can see, each floor is 3 thick, although that may increase depending on the size of the building in total. Like the width compared to height might look a bit weird, so we'll just see. But I don't want it to be like too out of scale, because that was one of the other problems with the palace, is that I made it like too tall. Like pretty much every room in the palace was 6 blocks high. Now they're 4 or 5, I think. So, moving around the palace is a lot less anti-claustrophobic. I don't know what the opposite of claustrophobic is. Like there are places in the old palace where you walk around and you just feel like you're a bit too small to be there. I got the scaling wrong slightly. Anyway, so this is the new floor plan for the palace. And the way I made this was, like I said, I just made some drawings in GIMP at a 2-scale pixel size. And then I used a image to Minecraft map pixel art generator. I'll put a link to the one I used in the description if you're interested in using that yourself. And yeah, I basically just converted this floor plan into a Minecraft, into a MC Edit schematic, and then pasted that in. And that's how I'm going to be building this new palace, because, oh my god, that technique just saves so much time. I don't know why I didn't do that sooner, but it struck me the other day or a couple days ago that I was like, wow, that would have made everything so much easier. And then I started having these thoughts about, the new palace, and I thought, oh, I might as well, employ this new technique that I've just thought up. And it works. This is a pretty good looking floor plan. It's interesting because it's actually slightly bigger than the old palace. Let me just make it day quickly. Time set day. Yeah, it's actually bigger than the old palace, ever so slightly. And I think that's partly because I've made all the walls too thick, as in 2 blocks thick, not too thick. But yeah, I've made all the walls 2 blocks thick, which allows me to have different wall colors and wallpapers, I guess, which makes things more interesting. Means you can have more room diversity as opposed to everything just being made out of the same cobblestone or stone brick wall. Yeah, the trouble that I'm having at the moment is that I've made some of these corridors a bit too wide, and so, if this were the ceiling, then the ceiling is a bit disproportional to the size of the, it shouldn't be a side down rectangle. It should be either a square or an upright rectangle. Hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. If not, then forget it. But yeah, so I need to edit these floor plans a little bit, and also make one for each floor. But once I've done that, I will be back, and hopefully this will be looking a lot. It's interesting because I'll be back in 2 seconds probably using the editing on this video. And when I get back, it will look like tons of work has been done, but really I've just been pasting schematics in and it's taken about an hour or something maybe. So yeah, see you guys in a second. All right, welcome back. As you can see, things have now changed a bit. So in the end, this took about 4 hours to do, which compared to getting the basic shape of the original palace done, is like bullet speed. Yeah, so this is the basic shape of the palace. It doesn't really look like much at the moment, just a bunch of cubes and like weird shapes on the roof. But I've basically, like, all of the interior design of this brick has been laid out at this point now. It's not furnished or lit or anything like that, and none of the doors are like in place. But the absolute basic interior design is done, which it actually wasn't in the original palace. The original palace was very sparse above level 2. Yeah, so we've got stuff like a nice courtyard here, stairwell and a basement, and it's 4 stories high. There isn't much on the 4th floor generally, like, anyway. But yeah. Right, so yeah. So now, it's really just a case of sort of working out how the exterior is going to look and then furnishing this thing. In fairness, a few of the rooms probably need sort of a bit more attention to detail. For example, a room like this is very open, so I'd probably do something that sort of, walls things off a bit so that each of these larger rooms is then split into a smaller room, or a series of smaller rooms, rather. By the way, sorry if I sound a bit sort of nasal or anything. I've got a bit of a sore throat at the moment. Hoping it will pass fairly quickly. Where am I going? Oh yeah, I was going to give an example of the sort of smaller rooms. So I think, yes, it's here. Okay, so this is, this will eventually be the infirmary of the palace. So we've got stuff like a waiting room, and then doctor's offices, reception, storage or something, and wards. So if you can sort of visualize that. So yeah, that's what I mean by splitting the rooms up a bit better, or a bit more, because something like this, if this was, say, a bedroom, this is a massive bedroom. So what I was saying before about scale is, before the last Amber was a bit out of scale, and currently this is a bit too large as well, or at least the individual rooms are. So yeah, they need breaking down, unless of course they are supposed to be, a big empty chamber or whatever, such as this, which is the grand staircase, or this, which will be the throne room or the grand hall, whatever you want to call it. And let's see, over here we have the library. So these rooms are supposed to be a lot bigger and more open. And then, yeah. So there's still, a lot of work to do, but these sort of initial, hey, look, I've got this giant brick now, the initial getting that done has just made a massive difference in terms of progress. Um, so yeah, there's not much else to say, I guess, until I can do some more work on this. I will probably be working on this some more tonight and tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have something looking more presentable by the end of the weekend. Hopefully. um, so, yeah. Until then, this is Sir Aaron signing out. And, yeah, I will show you more of what's going on here once there's more to actually show. Alright, so sorry if this was a bit long, but I felt that, this needed documenting. So yes, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.